Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, but today I'm not going to be playing any games. I'm actually going to be redoing a tutorial I've done before on my channel, which is a tutorial about Python. Now it's going to be a little bit different. Instead of just teaching you basics, I'm going to go straight to how you can make a terminal game. Now basically what a terminal game is that, we have these 2D, 3D games where you move around with your keyboard buttons and stuff. Well, basically, if you're not if you don't have the knowledge of what a terminal is basically just a like a text box where you write stuff. So basically, a terminal game is playing a game by writing stuff, kind of like a quiz. Now, I'm gonna teach you how to make a terminal game. I'm gonna keep it pretty basic, not too hard. I'm also gonna be explaining the code and how it works and why it works. Well, probably not why it works. I'm not a scientist, but how it works and what it is and stuff like this. So I'm also gonna be switching up from the last when I had a tutorial before about how some Python basics. I used Visual Studio Code, which is fully okay with you to use, but I'm going to be using PyCharm. So I'm just gonna go through basically how you get started in making a terminal game, and you can kind of from this video make your own type of game and stuff. If you understand when I'm explaining what the stuff is and what it does in the code, you could make your own version of the game. Doesn't I'm probably gonna make like a maybe a fighter game or something. You can make a quiz. It's kind of up to you what you want to make, but I'm pretty sure with the knowledge you'll get from this video, you can make a game. And of course, you don't have to use PyCharm. If you're on the phone, you can use an online IDE like I think there's something called onlinepython.com or something. You can use Replit. You can use any IDE. Because, an IDE, it runs the code just like any other IDE. So, to start off, if you want to use PyCharm like I'm going to do, you go to jetbrains.com/PyCharm and you just hit this download button and download it. And for Python, you're going to go over to python.org/downloads and you're going to download here the latest version. I already have Python's already installed for me now, so I'm going to get you through that, and then we'll skip over to PyCharm once it's done downloading. So this is what it will look like. And what you want to do is you want to tick use admin privileges when installing py.exe and also add python.exe to path. This is an important part because sometimes if you don't do this, some stuff that Python has might not work because it doesn't have the privileges to work. Now we're going to hit install now, and yes, now it's going to install. Also, comment down below if I should bring back the tutorials. I know my most famous video, 30,000 views, is on how to install Minecraft on Windows 11 because they had some problems with Windows 11 installer and it didn't work for people. And that got 30,000 views, and it's my most successful video. Here setup was successful. All you have to do is just press close. Now, is it download? Okay, it's not. I'm gonna get back to you guys when PyCharm is finished downloading. I just remembered I can take you through another thing before we get to the PyCharm installer, and that is actually making your project directory. So you want to make a new folder wherever you want on your computer. I made it on the desktop. I named it Python. You can name it whatever. Then you're going to make a new folder inside of Python, because the Python folder, whatever you named it, I'm going to use it as my project directory. So basically where all the projects are stored, but you actually need a folder for the project. You don't want all the Python files to be by each other, because that would be kind of annoying, especially if you need to name them the same thing, because then you can't run them because there's multiple of them. So I'm just going to name this YouTube project. And this is where we're going to be having our Python file once PyCharm is finished installing. So now I'll get back to when PyCharm is installed. Now it has installed, so I'm just going to double click that. Hello? Excuse. Oh, sorry, yes. Okay, so hit yes on the administrator thing. Okay, let me just accidentally did 2 times. Where's the cancel this one. I don't know which one. Okay, wait. I'm sorry, guys. Let me redo this. Okay, so you're gonna double click PyCharm installer. It'll verify the installer. You'll press on the admin stuff. Now we're gonna hit next, next, and here I would recommend doing PyCharm as a desktop shortcut so you easily find it. And here we can create associations. Basically, since we have Python installed, we can associate it with .py, which is what I'm gonna do because I'm not gonna really use any other coding languages. Update path variable restart needed. I'm not gonna do this because I need to restart and I do not want to do that, so I'll just hit next and install. Now PyCharm's gonna install as an IDE on your computer, and since I added it as a desktop shortcut, I do not need to go into my search bar and search for it all the time, which I recommend doing. So as this installs, I'll just skip till it's installed because it's a lot easier than sitting here for like 10 minutes in quietness, being quiet. Yeah, okay, I'll shut up. I'll get back to you guys when it's installed. Okay, it's finally installed. Thank you. So we're gonna hit run PyCharm to start the IDE at once and hit finish. Dun, dun, dun. Now it's loading up. Woohoo! This is fun. I confirm that I've read and accept the terms of this user agreement. Continue, don't send. Allow. Here we have it, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to our projects folder. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna hit open, and I'm gonna paste and go over here and press select folder. Now I can close this. Trust all projects in Python folder and trust. So here, now we've loaded up. It has created a main.py in our folder, so we can get straight into it. I'm just gonna go through what we have. Here we have the run button. Here we can see the current file. Here we have all the files, external library, and here we have the tabs. Basically, now in main.py, let me just remove all of this. I'm gonna go through basics really quick, just so you guys know how it works. Let's say we want to use a library that's not installed. We just hit import and then write the library name, like random or time or something. To print stuff into the terminal, we use the print command. To create functions, we use def as definition, kinda. Main parentheses, I think it's called colon. I don't remember, it was so long ago. And then here we have a function which runs kind of the same as a variable. You just write it down and then finish with parentheses. And to write comments, you use the hashtag, and that's everything you really need to know for what we're gonna do. We also have the input command, which you use by giving it a variable, writing the input, then let's say, enter number as they gave. They gave it as a suggestion, enter number. And that's how you make an input. So this is basically what we're gonna do. And so I'm gonna write comments because it's easier to find our way back to where this section is. I'm gonna call this imports. In imports, we're gonna import random for our game, because I guess we need some type of chance. Since I'm making a fighting game, I'm thinking that we might want to use random to do kind of the random amount of money you can get when you win, or the random amount of health it takes when you damage someone. Am I getting a call? I'm getting a call. Yeah, sorry guys, let me shut off my phone real quick. Okay, so now we have, oh yeah, sorry, import random. Then what is it supposed to do that, or am I just bananas? Do you need to end the comment? Oh yeah, you need to end the comment. I'm sorry guys, you have to end the comment. I think you can write double and you don't have to. Sorry guys, I'm getting confused in this. Actually, let's just skip comments. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. But we're gonna import random, and we're gonna import time, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it, but I might want to use it for what, bro? Why does it turn gray? It feels weird. I want color. Is there a way to change this? Settings, theme. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any way to switch so the text appearance dark, edit color scheme? What does that do? I'm so it feels weird that the text doesn't have color. I I'm sorry guys. I'm just really it really annoys me. I'll be can I editor color scheme? What if I do light? Okay. Oh, okay. This is I'm sorry guys. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I always used Visual Code. I don't know how to use this. I'm gonna see if there's any way to actually make it have like color, because when I write it gets color, and then when I finish writing it, it removes the color. Can I still use them? Oh yeah, it works. Okay. This feels weird, but I guess we'll have to do it like this. So I'm gonna input random for getting a random amount of money, and I'm gonna use, or like taking a random amount of damage. I'm gonna use time to maybe wait in between the functions so that not everything just pops up boom boom boom. Then I'm gonna go over to making variables, which is pretty easy. Also, just a reminder, when you make a variable inside of a function, it's not a global variable. That variable only works in the function. When you write a variable out here, outside of a function, it'll be a global variable, which can be used in functions and basically anywhere in the code. As long as if it's in a function, you have to call the variable by writing global and then the variable name. So I'm gonna use health, since we obviously need health. And then I guess I'm gonna do boss health. I don't exactly remember how to use lists, which might be a problem unless we're using like one singular person which has 100 health. Um, I might need to get that checked. No, actually, I'm gonna use different boss names, but I'm gonna go with the same amount of health for everyone. So opponent health is 100. Then I'm gonna use our cash is 0, and that's basically it. I'm gonna start off by making a function for checking the amount of cash you have. I think that's pretty simple. As I said, to make a function, we're gonna do def as in definition. I'm gonna call it wallet, and I'm gonna use global cash. Also, yeah. You see, it comes up with the you saw how it automatically did global. You saw how it automatically did global cache for me. It will come up as like, do you want to use this code? And then you just press tab, and it will paste down the code it shows. As you can see here, it asks if I want to do this. If I press tab, it will complete it. It says right there, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to do print wallet. So actually, I also showed you this in the last video about Python. You can either call variables this way, or you can remove the f in those squiggly brackets and just write plus cash like this instead. But the thing is, you'll need to use it as a string if you do it that way, because it's a number. It's a int. It's not a string. Now let's just make sure this code works for me, which I hope it does. Hit run. As you see, it says wallet 0 because that's what we have here. If I write 10 instead, it will say wallet 10. Now that's enough for the wallet at this point. We don't need to continue with the wallet. Now I'm gonna make a def menu, which will basically be where they get to select if, like, do you want to check the wallet? Do you want to play the game? Kind of that way. So to do that, we're gonna use the input as I showed you. Basically, the input works is you name the input, like you give the input a type of variable. I usually just like to do I for every input that I do. So input, and then you ask the question. Instead of would you continue, I'm gonna do would you like to. Oh, this is gonna be hard actually. P for play, S for start, W for wallet. Would you like to start the game or see your wallet? And what you can do here is you can put this the left like the slash that leans to the left, and put an N, and it will make a new tab. So some people like to put print and then just nothing in the quotes, and that would make a new tab. Well, a new line, I don't know what you want to call it, but I use this because it's easier and it takes less lines on the code. And oh yeah, well, it already shows you how to do this. Basically, you're now gonna say if I is s. Actually, I'm gonna do I dot lower. Basically, what this does is the I, the variable with the input, it will print on that, and then you get to write something. I'm saying if you write s and if I dot lower basically means instead of doing I equals s, I'm doing I dot lower, because then it'll take the answer. So even if you put a big S, we'll make that big as lowercase. If you write a lowercase s, we'll make it lowercase again. So it's not sensitive to if you're writing it in caps or not, which is very good. So if I dot lower is s, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the function doesn't exist yet, but I'm gonna write it here and we'll make the function later. Start game. Elif I dot lower is w. Now we're gonna have the wallet here. So now menu is what we're gonna run. So basically, when you start the Python program, it will run this function at once, and it will say, would you like to start the game or see your wallet? You get to answer S or W. If you answer S, it'll start the game. If you answer W, you'll see the wallet. I'm also gonna add else, and I'm gonna print invalid input. Basically, if someone writes anything else except S or W, it will say, oh, this is not a valid input. Now I'm gonna use time.sleep so that we get some time in between, and then I'm gonna run the menu again so that they get to answer again, like writing a choice. Now I'm gonna go over to the start game function, and we're gonna use global cache, global health, and opponent, because we're gonna need cache to be able to give us cache if we win, and health to like remove and give health. Actually, matter of fact, I think it would be better if we made multiple functions for getting cache. We can remove this, we can remove this, and we can remove this. Actually, let's remove this for now. And let's write def take damage like this, global health, global opponent health. I'm gonna write what could I write here as a like text for it? I could write, I'm gonna write who. If who equals opponent, if I can write opponent health equals how can I do this? Okay, sorry guys, I'm trying to think. I don't have the best I'm not that quick at thinking. Opponent health equals I think we could use equal minus. Where's the minus at? Is it this one? No, it isn't. Where's the minus at? Yes, sorry. Okay, there. Equal. And then we're gonna do random dot rand int 1. No, maybe like 20 to 15 and 30. So basically, when you run the function take damage, I'm gonna run it by writing it like this: take damage, and then I'm gonna write either like player or something in here. And so this function will run, and it will get the parameter that I send, and it will say, okay, so if the parameter is opponent, then it's gonna take away health from the opponent. If it's player, it's gonna take away health from the player. and it's going to take a random number from 15 to 30. So that could be 25, 24, 15, it can be 30, it can be 29, it can be 16. It's going to take away that amount from the opponent's health or the player's health. So basically this will be the way that I'm going to remove health if you take damage. I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time I'm going to switch this to health. And so here we have a functioning take damage function. And I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to remake it into a get money. Did I? Oh, yeah, no, I did that correctly. Yeah. I'm going to get money. And I'm just going to remove this, and I'm going to remove all of this here. Cash. And then I'm going to do cash plus equal. Yeah, that would be good. So this is enough for the cash part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the actual start game thing and see if I can do this. I'm sorry guys that I'm slow in my head. I haven't programmed in such a while. It's kind of confusing me. I'll also go over one more time, summarize what everything does in the end of the video. Let's make a new function, start game. I'm just gonna do... Let's actually do the thing where we can select a random name for a boss, and to do that we're gonna make a list. I'll call this boss names. And we're gonna use brackets, and this is basically how we're gonna make the list. The first boss name will be David. Second, Kyle, he's a bad one. And then Billy Badass. That's some good names for 3 different bosses. All the bosses are gonna have 100 health. I'm too lazy to fix that right now, but we could probably do it in another video if we want to update the code. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do selected boss equals random.choice boss names. What this does is it's gonna pick a random string out of the list. So one of these, and that's going to be our selected boss. And then we're going to print... What did it give as a suggestion? I want to see what PyCharm has. Okay, this is a good one. Print... we're going to do... Health... And then hopefully there it will give you, okay, let me do this, boss health, opponent health. We also need to do this to actually be able to use them. Global health, global opponent health. We're also gonna add print. If you stumbled upon a selected boss in the what are they giving as ideas? You stumbled upon. Let me just make sure everything's working. Yeah, there seems to be no error. I'm just gonna give this a quick test to see how it works. Would you like to start the game? W shows the wallet. Wait, let me just... Menu, it shows the wallet. In the wallet we're gonna do this. Then we're gonna add menu over here so that it goes back to this. Start the game. Okay, so would you like to start the game? Would you like to start the game or see your wallet? Wallet 0. Would you like to start a game? Start the game. You stumbled upon David. Boss David. Oh wait, that makes no sense. I'm gonna remove this. You stumbled upon David, health 100, boss health. I feel like it would make more sense to put these in another order. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna paste this here. Now, would you like... Yes, you stumbled upon David, boss health 100, health 100. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the input type stuff, where we're gonna do I equals input. Let's do attack or run, and then we're gonna do the same thing we did with the one up here. How did I do? Okay, I used that. and I'm gonna do A/R if A take damage selected boss, elif we're gonna go back to the menu. Also I need to make sure I'm doing this right, because like now if I attack it takes the damage of the selected boss, but it needs to do I'm trying to figure out a way to do this. I think I might need to do this. Current boss equals none. Select the boss. Current boss. Global current boss. So also I'm gonna make another function before we get back to which is called reset health. Global health, global opponent health. Opponent health equals 100. Health equals 100. So if the game ends, we go back to our normal health. Now we need to think about this. So when we start the game, it will change the variable of current boss to the boss that we get. Stumble upon current boss, both health, attack, run. If we attack, I'm gonna do. I might need to make this a bit special where I might need to do def, miss, or attack. Does that make sense? No, actually, I'm gonna do that you always hit and not a miss, and we'll change the code if I make another part. So I'm gonna name this attack. Who? Global health. Because I don't already have. I have take damage, but I don't have attack. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My brain's flushed right now. Okay, what I'm gonna do is. So, take damage, current boss. So, in the take damage, I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna switch this one just to. No, I'm gonna do opponent because it feels better. No, it feels better if we do if who equals current boss. I'm gonna do global current boss. Okay, so when we attack, if we attack the current boss, the opponent, it will drop like this. And then I kind of want to go back to this. Take damage, current boss. Take damage. Now it's the boss's turn. So I'm gonna add print. Boss's health. Print. You did. Mount equals. Oh, I accidentally added a plus here. Didn't even notice. Amount. Okay, so you did amount damage. Here I'm gonna do take damage player. So basically, once we started the game, if we attack, we will attack the boss, and the boss will lose health, and it'll print that it lost health, and then we'll take damage from the player because it's the boss's turn. So I'm gonna do print current boss attacked and did amount damage. And also it will change every time. This random.randint, it will change every time you run the function. So then I'm gonna do print f health. I'm also gonna change this, and I'm gonna do it above. And now it will. Now the thing is, I want to question if they want to attack again, which is kind of the problem. But that's why I have an idea. Def attack. I'm gonna do it like this because then we can run this part of the code multiple times. Health attack, attack, if attack run, if run take this take. Okay, and now once the boss has attacked, I'm gonna run the attack here. Now I'm gonna make something called another function, end global health, global opponent health. Well, actually, we don't need this here. I'm gonna run print. I'm gonna run result. If result is 1, print u1. Then I'm gonna do current boss. We're gonna remove the current boss. We're gonna do, oh yeah, we need to add some globals. Global current boss. I'm gonna do reset health, and then I'm gonna do, now what was it called? What do we call this function? Get money. Get money, so that you get the money. So you get the money, we reset the health, the current boss is on. Then we're gonna run back to the menu again. I'm just gonna do else, it's easier. Else print you lost current boss, reset health, and you don't get any money, and we go back to the menu. So the attack, start game, reset health, here's take damage. Opponent minus you did. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. If opponent.health is less than or equals to 0, so if the opponent's health is 0 or less, we're gonna go to the end, and I'm gonna write 1. Else, I'm gonna put this code back. Then we're gonna do if health is 0 or lower, it's gonna write end lost. Else, I'm just gonna check if I got any errors in the code to begin with. Would you like to start the game or see your wallet? I want to see my wallet. Would you like to start the game or see your wallet? Start the game, you stumbled upon Kyle, boss health, 100, health 100. If I run, would you like to start the game? S, now we stumbled upon David, so the random works. I'm gonna attack. You did 23 damage, boss health is... You did 23 damage. I think I might know what the problem here is. It's this. Opponent health minus the amount equals health minus the amount. Oh, minus the amount. Let's see if that works better. Restart. Stop and rerun. Start the game. Attack. Well, what could have gone wrong? Health. Reset health equals. So I run the, okay, so we start the game, health, I go to attack or run, I hit attack, it does take damage, current boss. So take damage, if who equals current boss, opponent equals what is wrong here? If who is current boss, so when we attack, the opponent's health is the opponent's health, but minus the amount. Print. I'm gonna check something. Let's see. Start. Attack. How can I win if he has 81 health? Oh, if the opponent's health is larger or equal to 0. Well, I found the problem, guys. We're just gonna switch this to that and switch this to that. Now let's rerun and test this. Start. Attack, you did 19 damage, boss health 81, Kel attack and did 17 damage, health 83. Attack, you did 26, 55, 61, attack. You won, would you like to start the game or see a wallet? And wallet at 57. Start the game, attack. I lost, would you like to see the wallet? The wallet remains the same. Oh yeah, start. Attack. I lost again, bro. How am I this bad? Okay, so basically, this has taken almost 40 minutes. I'm just going to go through the summary of the code and then what it means, and then maybe make another video about how to make defense and stuff. So up here, what this means is that we import different libraries. There are multiple libraries that you can install and stuff. The library random, we're going to use to choose random numbers and random names from a list, and then the time is basically used to wait in between different stuff, which we actually only used once, I think. These down here are called variables. Basically a nickname. Instead of writing 100 all the time, we can just write health, and it's much more, how would you say, like it actually works. It's hard, like this key has the same value all the time. Like if you write health equals 100 and we write health, it'll be 100. If we write health minus 10, it will be 90, and then it'll keep on being 90 until we change that variable, which we wouldn't be able to do this game without the variable, because we can't write 100 and then keep track of what it is later, since we're choosing random numbers and stuff. So basically this game would not be possible to do without the variable. So the health is for the player's health, the opponent's health is for the opponent's health. Boss names, this is a variable, but it's a variable for a list. Basically, this variable is everything here, and we're gonna make this random that we import and select one of these each time. The cache is a variable for an int. Basically, there are multiple things. This is a list. This is a string. A string is basically text. An int is a number, and a list is, well, multiple things. So cache is 0, current boss is nothing. Def, I'd say it stands for definition, I'm not sure, but it feels like that. And basically it's a function. So a function is something that contains a lot of code. Like, for example, take damage contains all this code, but we can simply run all this code at any time by just writing take damage and then a parameter. Which is really good, so you don't have to paste the same code over and over again. Then we have the definition, or the function, get money. Global, basically, well, actually, maybe I should go in between, go and read up the text in here, the code. Basically, global means that you're getting a global variable. You can write a variable, just like these up here, in this function, but those variables only work inside this function. Making a variable out here, we can use global and then the variable name to actually use it in the function. but a variable that you make inside one function you can't use in another. A global variable you can use in any function. This pretty self-explanatory. We're taking the amount as a variable. We're making another variable that will only be used in this function, and the variable will be a random number from 15 to 30. This also pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna say if something equals this, then do this. So basically, if who is the name of the boss that we have, then it will run this code right here. And this also pretty self-explanatory. We're taking the health that the opponent has, and it will be exactly the same health, just that we remove the amount. This also self-explanatory. It'll say if the opponent's health is either 0 or lower than 0, then we'll run a function called end with the one parameter. Else, pretty self-explanatory. If this is not true, then we'll do this instead. And this is basically all of that. I think we've gone through most of it. I don't know, is there something we haven't went through? Oh yeah, basically what this does is when you write an F, I don't really know why this works and why it is like this and why there's an F. But anyways, what this does is if you write an F and then squiggly brackets and the name of a variable, it will be able to write that variable even if it's not a string inside of a string. Like this is a number. You can't just write the health in here because it won't work, because it's not a string, it's an int, a number, and we don't want to use like it will be a lot of time to do this, so we can just do this way instead. This input, basically it's just like print, but instead of just printing a text, it prints a text and then lets us answer the text. It's like a question, so that's what that's for. I is the variable for the input, and basically I will be what we write. So as you can see here, if I, which is like if what we write is a lowercase a, then we'll do this. And I think I've explained everything that I need to explain. I think you guys hopefully understand. And if you don't understand, there's always tutorials and guides outside of YouTube or other YouTube videos. There's forums, anything. But thank you guys for watching this, and I might make a part 2 in case you guys want to.